Okay, guys, welcome back to another video. If you can't tell, I'm actually doing this video outside, because I've got people sleeping in the house, and my mom actually had to go to the emergency room. You know, like apparently something wrong with her eye, so she's going to the emergency room. So, yeah, I gotta sit here and watch the siblings, but yeah, I'm doing this outside so I don't wake them up. But I actually want to make a video on this because, you know, I have not been really talking about Ice Age much. I know people are kind of not really, super looking forward to Ice Age much. I mean, I see some people are, but a lot of people are not happy, you know, for good reason. You know, Disney, you know, not only acquired 20th Century Fox, they acquired it, but they, you know, decided to, you know, shut down the studio a few years later. You know, and not only that, but they blamed it on freaking COVID. They blamed it on freaking COVID. You know, why they shut it down. Honestly, I think they should have just sold it off, but they really didn't do that. You know, they didn't really sell it off. So, Disney, you know, has the rights to Blue Sky and all that. I don't know if they have the rights to all the films. I guess Blue Sky made a total of 13 films. And out of the 13, a couple of them, Horton Hears the Who, and on... sorry, I think I had something in my throat. Yeah, Horton Hears the Who, and then they also made another book, not a book, like a comic strip, you know, adaptation from the Peanuts movie, you know, like, you know, Charlie Brown and all that. Which both movies are really good, you know, they were really good, but the thing is, though, is Disney, you know, doesn't really have a whole lot of movies to kind of go off of. I kind of wish they would just bring back Blue Sky Studios. Like, they should have never fucking shut it down. They should have just kept it up. I don't think they're gonna do that, because, you know, we got, you know, people in Disney that don't really, all they care about is, again, making money and, like, and, you know, buying stuff, you know. They don't really care about, you know, happiness. I mean, they're starting to, I've been hearing some people saying they're starting to kind of, you know, course correct on their movies they made, you know, like they're and all that, which I can't say a lot because I haven't seen a ton of them. I've seen like Pixar movies and all, which is also part of Disney, but I have not seen like a ton of them. But I have seen like some of their shows and all that, and they've not been the best. They've not been the best at all. But I've not seen like Strange World and all that, and which I hear that's bad, and then, you know, like, lately, I mean, I guess I've seen Inside Out, too, in the theater. So, I mean, I've seen some of their content, but I pretty much have been just checked out from the company just because of what they've been kind of doing. But I do know there are people out there that, you know, that still want to watch their content, and I mean, that's fine, But this is one of those where I'm like, I don't know, I think they should have probably just stopped at 4. They should have just stopped at Ice Age 4, you know, Continental Drift. I've seen some people don't really like that movie. I actually didn't mind it. I think it should have just ended off there, and then I think it still would have been people would have been burnt out on it, but not, like, as bad. Because in that movie, we got to see, like, Peaches, you know, become a teenager and all that, and kind of grow and all that, and we've seen, you know, Manny have to, like, learn to, like, let his daughter go and let the past go. I mean, even though, you know, he's, you know, he kind of, you know, he can be overprotective and all, you know, but then they kind of did the same thing in the 5th movie. They kind of, you know, repeated the same plot. It was not good. And then Buck Wild was fucking awful. Like, it was an awful movie. Some people are trying to say, well, if this would be like the 7th Ice Age movie, and yes, it would be, but Buck Wild was supposed to be a spinoff. That movie didn't feel like a Buck movie. It felt more like a Crash and Eddie movie, is what it felt like. It had very bad animation, you know, it didn't just have bad animation, it had it had Crash and Eddie in there, it wasn't funny, and, The Lost World, by the way, did not feel like a Lost World. All the voice actors were, replaced them. I made a whole review talking about that movie, so you guys can check out that if you guys want. It's in my playlist. So, you guys can check out that if you guys want. But, it's in my Blue Sky Studios playlist. I might do a review on this movie when it comes out, but I'm like, I don't know if I really want to watch the movie. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if it would be as bad as Buck Wild, because that movie was really bad, but who knows? I mean, Disney does tend to find ways to make stuff worse at times, so, I mean, I don't know. I mean, look what they did to, like, the sequel trilogy of Star Wars. They found a way to make it 1,000 times worse. I mean, I guess to be fair, somebody didn't mind the prequel trilogy of Star Wars, but I did find problems with it, but the sequel trilogy was definitely really, really bad. And, that's the thing, Disney has a very bad habit of doing this. It's when they bought out Fox, for example, they made some sequels to some movies that were not very good. They were not very good, and, it's just like, I mean, like, that's, like, even, like, we had, like, a Home Alone 6 and all that, and I've heard it was really bad. Like, I heard it was, like, the worst one that was made. I haven't really seen a lot. Like, I've seen the first Home Alone movie a long time ago. I think I've seen the second one, too, a little bit. It's been years, but I'm not seeing really a bunch of the Home Alone movies. So I really can't, I can't really say, like, my opinion on them, but I'm going off what people have said there, and then also, they, like I said, with Ice Age, again, the spin-off movie, that was even worse than the other stuff, and then, all that, and, I don't know, it's just, like, again, I feel like, like, this movie, I don't know, I feel like then the fact that they at least brought back they're bringing back the voice actors for the movie, that could be a good sign, in cases. But just because it has the voice actors in it does not mean it's gonna be a good movie, That's the thing too, you gotta have, like, a good story to tell. And I don't know if Ice Age really has a lot to tell anymore. But yeah, this movie apparently is gonna be called, Boiling Point, I know I'm not really talking about the movie that much as it is, because there's not really a lot to talk about. They don't really, we so far do not have a freaking plot yet. Like, we have no plot and all that. But Toy Story 5, we got a plot, but freaking Ice Age, we have no plot. We've got, like, no plot. Like, I actually have no idea what this movie's gonna be about. I mean, Disney's been doing that a lot lately, though. Like, I've noticed there's not been a lot of a plot. Like, they have not been having a big plot in their movies, or like they've not been reviewing them, at least, and until, like, they make the trailers. I know we have one for Shrek as well, which, by the way, Shrek was apparently delayed and all. They've been delaying a few of these movies, so I'm not, well, Shrek's not, I mean, just to clarify, Shrek is DreamWorks, it's not Disney, it's Universal, but they've delayed that movie, too. I might actually talk about that movie, too, like, maybe do some predictions, because I do have, because we do have a plot for it. This one, though, we have, like, again, like, no plot yet. Like, it says Boiling Point, though. I don't know if, like, some people have said something about maybe volcanoes, which is what I kind of was thinking. Maybe it was going to be something to do with volcanoes or something. I don't know. I don't know what they'll do with this movie. But we are getting to the point, again, where like I said, I think they should have just stopped at 4. But I don't want to say this movie will be bad either, but I don't know. I mean, they have not been having, they've had a few of good projects here in Disney's pretty much anymore. Their projects have not been that good. They've not been that good, and, Even like movies that have done well, like Moana 2 and all that movie, I've heard really bad thoughts on it and all that, and that's kind of what concerns me, you know. Not to mention, again, they don't have freaking Blue Sky to back them up anymore. Blue Sky, again, shut down, so a lot of the people that worked on these movies is gone. Not saying that, you know, again, Collision Course was good, you know, either. Like I said, it was bad, but you know, like, you can tell, like, it still had, you know, it still felt like an Ice Age movie. It felt like its own thing. I'll tell you guys right now, Buck Wild felt more like a Disney movie and not, you know, that, you know. But again, I don't know. I mean, it could be good. But, you know, the fact that it's the 6th movie in the franchise and all, I'm kind of starting to I kind of have some doubts. I think what they need to do is they need to bring back the baby from the first movie. They do. They need to bring back the baby from the first movie. Like, I think, you know, having, you know, him come back as an adult, that would actually make more sense. And maybe, like, you know, have it, like, feel more like, maybe having the ice kind of come back. I don't know. Like I said, they could do some plots with that. I don't know if they're going to do that or not, but I don't know. I don't know if they will or not. We'll have to see what they do. But honestly, I will tell you guys. So some people actually have said that they prefer like Ice Age 3 over the first one. I think I actually still prefer the first one. The first Ice Age movie just felt like the best out of all of them. It wasn't the most funniest of them all, but it did have funny moments in it, but, you know, and all that, but it felt more like they were trying to, you know, again, tell a story. They're trying to tell a story, you know, and all, and they kind of do in the later movies a bit, but not as well, not as well. Like, we don't see that as well, you know, we don't see that same, you know, concept. Even the music. Like, we do not get to see the music in the movie either. Like, we don't get to hear the music. Because the first Ice Age movie had a very good soundtrack. The other ones do too. But they're not as good. They're not as good. Like, they're not like as good and all that. The first movie had like the best soundtrack and all that. I kind of wish they'd bring back the tracks from that movie too, but they really haven't really done that. They brought back like one track in the sequel, you know, where Scrat was climbing up the glacier and all, trying to avoid the water, but pretty much most of the tracks, you know, from the first movie have been kind of in the first movie. It's kind of like, I think it's, to me, it's like the new Super Mario Brothers of, you know, Ice Age. It's kind of like that. Like, if you guys played the new Super Mario Brothers games, like, they have like 4 of them and all that. I guess 5 if you want to count. There's a spin-off of that too. It's kind of weird, how like identical and all that is, but the first one felt more like it was its own thing and all that. You know, that's kind of how the Ice Age movie, the first one, did, and then the tracks too, and then the other ones are not they weren't bad, but they weren't like, they didn't hold up as well, I feel like, compared to the old one, you know, and that's kind of how this feels, especially with the tracks. Like, the new Super Mario Brothers games are the same way. Like, most of the tracks in that game are like not, you know, used, so they like reuse the tracks from the other games and all that. And you know, it's kind of like that with Ice Age 1, you know, and even like with the theme, you know, like it felt more like it was trying to be, you know, a snowy place, you know. The other ones don't feel like, you know, they're taking place in the Ice Age timeline. I feel like they're trying to be their own thing. And I mean, I'm not saying they can't do that, but that's what made the first Ice Age movie, in my opinion, you know, the best one, you know, was the soundtrack, the story, and the fact that it felt like it was actually trying to be, like it was actually an actual Ice Age. But, yeah, I don't know. But I don't know what the 6th one's gonna be. I don't know if it's, like I said, I don't know, we don't know anything about the movie, and that's kind of what's scary. Like, we don't know anything about the movie. Like, we don't know anything about it, you know? We don't know anything about the movie. It just feels like, again, Disney's trying to cash in on freaking the stuff. Basically, Blue Sky has become what Pixar was going to become back in 2006. I talked about that before. So, you guys know Pixar was originally going to be they were only going to produce like a few movies, and after that, Disney and Pixar were going to part ways. And then they were going to use Circle 7 Animation to actually to make sequels to their movies. That's kind of what it feels like this is becoming. Like there's even talk that they were going to make a Rio 3. Now I have not heard anything on that yet since Chapek has left, but I can kind of hear wouldn't be surprised if they make a sequel on that, and they could probably make a sequel on like Epic or something too, because they're gonna try to keep the franchises alive. But I'm like, again, it would be so much easier if you guys would just bring back the damn studio. Like, and I mean, if it costs too much money to like run this shit, then sell this shit off. Like, again, it's not that hard. Like I said, it's not that hard to do. I mean, I'm sure you can find buyers out there, but I'm just like, again, like, the fact that you guys have shut down this stuff and are trying to appeal to, certain demographics with the remaining, few films you guys have, that's kind of the thing. And, out of the 13 films, there was like five Ice Age movies, 5 of them. And then there was like 1 Rio movie. I think in total, there was like 7 of them, like 7. I'm trying to think here. Because I'm like trying to think, because there'd be 13, Yeah, that'd be 7. So there's actually 7 original movies. Now there was one movie that was made by Blue Sky that did get saved, so that make like 14, I guess. I haven't seen that movie yet. I need to watch it. I haven't seen it yet. I hear it's very good. I think it's called Novoda, or I can't remember the name of it. I hear it's very good. I need to kind of check it out. I haven't checked it out yet. I need to do that, but but I hear it's a very good movie. But it got saved. But unfortunately, again, like a lot of the creativity from that stuff kind of was part of that movie, and then it got canceled. It got canceled, and then they, and I'm not sure why they canceled it. I was thinking it was because of, gay stuff, and all, because they were going to have that in the movie. But, then Disney, has other stuff going on. Again, that could be Chapek, as Chapek, I heard, was trying to walk the stuff back, too, so I don't know, it's kind of weird. Like, it's weird to know what happened there. I mean, I guess I am happy it got saved. I don't know how much they had to change in the movie, though, because, Disney didn't pull the plug on it, but I don't know. I'm just like I said, I don't know. I don't want to say this again. Ice Age 6 will be bad, but like I said, I don't know how I feel about it either. And like I said, we can only go off the title right now, but we also got like freaking other sequels coming out. We're getting a freaking Toy Story 5 next year, and we're supposed to be getting a Coco 2, which is that one. I'm definitely like, I don't know if we need a Coco 2. That's the thing, though, too. Like, I have nothing wrong with there being sequels to movies. That I have nothing wrong with that. But then there's a time where sometimes like you make too many of them, and you start running out of ideas. Now sometimes you can make it work, but very rarely you can make these movies work. Usually by the time you get to the third, well, actually I'd say about the 4th movie, 4th or 5th one, you can start seeing there being a problem, with making, sequels and all that, Again, I'm not saying they can't do it, I'm not saying they can't. I'm just saying it's very, very rare, when you get that stuff. And that's kind of the problem, again, with, like I said, with Toy Story 5 as well. I'm like, I feel like they should have just stopped at 3. I mean, well, I would say 4, but 4 was bad. Like, people get pissed at me and other people that they don't like the film in the comments. I've seen that, and I'm like, I don't give a shit. Like, if you guys like the movie, it's fine. I don't like Toy Story. I don't like. I mean, yeah, I don't like Toy Story 4. I don't like it. They you know it. They pushed Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head aside, and they got rid of you know. Well, they actually pushed like most of the characters from the first 3 movies. They they kind of like. Basically what they did too is they kind of got rid of Woody being the leader and all that of the toys and it's this random doll and all that. It felt like I mean, I don't want to say it like this, but it felt like they were trying to kind of push like the female leader thing and all that. But I'm like, that doesn't really make sense because I think Woody was always the leader of the toys. He was always the leader. And I feel like Buzz would be should have took over after he left, you know. And some people who don't like the ending of that one. I actually didn't mind the ending of that movie too much. Like, I'll say, I think, you know, I don't think a toy needs to always be played with a kid. I mean, some people are upset about that, but I think, you know, I kind of didn't mind the ending too much. It was the rest of the movie that was frustrating, you know. And that's the thing, they had a good idea there. They had a good idea bringing back Bo Peep, but they screwed it up. And the thing is, now that they got that, I'm like, what else is there going to be to tell, you know? I mean, they got a villain in the movie. We got that, but you know, but again, I'm like what else is there going to be to tell besides that, you know? I mean, I guess they can make it work maybe with again technology taking over the world, but I don't know. I'm just like, I don't know. I just don't know how to feel about that. I will say, the toys taking over the world, or the world thing, there was a Robot Chicken sketch, by the way, of that, too, and I see some people saying that Robot Chicken predicted the future. I'm not kidding, there's literally, like, instead of a tablet, it's like a freaking Xbox that takes over the toys and all that, like, and takes them out and all that. That's kind of funny how they have similar ideas. I mean, Disney does this a lot, like, even Star Wars, like, it seems like they had a lot of ideas they took from, like, from Robot Chicken Star Wars, and put it in their films, but Robot Chicken's also a parody stuff. It's not really canon with, you know, making, you know, your actual stuff canon. It makes it, you know, more confusing, you know. I mean, you want to do a parody, that's fine, but, like, when you're making your, like, actual shows and movies, you gotta be, you know, up there. And like I said, I don't know. Like I said, these are just movies that are coming out, and Disney's, at this point, is making a lot more sequels. There is some original stuff coming out, but not a lot. There's not a lot anymore. And then there's also, they're also making a Coco 2, and Incredibles 3. Incredibles 3 might be good, although I'll be pissed if they bring back Syndrome, because I could totally see them doing that, being like, Syndrome never actually died, and they actually brought him back. I'd be so pissed about that. They did that. I would. Like, I'd be like, they shouldn't have brought him back and all, you know, but I mean, they did this with Rio, too, as well. One of the villains, somehow survived, and then he's back at the second film and all that. It's kind of ridiculous, but I don't know. But Coco 2 is the one I'm not really sure how to feel about that. Like, I don't think Coco really needed a sequel. I don't think it needed one. If anything, I would say a good sequel, I think, would probably be one with WALL-E. Like, I think WALL-E would actually make a good sequel. Some people are like, WALL-E doesn't need a sequel, but I think WALL-E should get a sequel. It should get a sequel. Like, I think WALL-E could probably, get a sequel, and then they could have, like, showing, like, the humans, like, after the first movie, and showing them, you know, rebuilding their lives and all that, you know. You know, I don't know, like, and they can have another, like, robot thing trying to take them down or something, you know. Like, it'd be really interesting, you know. I mean, or they could bring back, like, Disney wants to make sequels to movies, like, instead of making Ice Age 5 and all that, they could bring back, you know, like, some of these canceled sequels that we're gonna make, like, you know, Monsters, Inc. 2, you know, and all that, like, Lost in Paradise. because they were gonna make that movie too, but Circle 7 Animation got shut down for some reason. They canceled the freaking movie. I'm like, they couldn't have kept it, going. I don't know. I mean, the thing is though, they have monsters at work now, so they'd have to like fix around the script a little bit, but I don't know. I mean, they could just do the movie anyway, because I mean, Disney freaking changes crap anyway, and I mean, they had those live action remakes. They can make a whole thing of, instead of live action remakes, make movies that get got canceled and bring them back. Maybe call it Disney's What If or something like that. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot they could do with that stuff, but again, like I said, they want to like do it like this instead. And I'm like, I don't know how to feel about all that, but I don't know. But we're getting closer to the end of 2025, and we're gonna be seeing Toy Story and all here pretty soon. But I don't know. I don't know how to feel about all this, but I don't know. But again, I don't know if it'll be bad or not either. But it's like there's a lot of sequels coming and all that, and yeah, I mean, we're getting sequels to other movies too, but other studios too, but they're also not as big. Disney is freaking huge now, because again, they own Fox and all that now. They're, well, at least part of it. They don't own all of Fox, so I'm just like, again, they're trying to make money back for this stuff. And I told you guys, like I said, I don't think there would be a problem if some of these movies had sequels to them if they weren't already milked to death. But even before, Disney took over, 20th Century Fox, most of these movies were freaking milked to death, I mean, we've already had, we had a freaking crap ton of freaking Home Alone movies. We had, a crap ton of Diary of the Wimpy Kid movies, which I hear there's a freaking another one coming out. They're going to be making another one, I hear, coming out this year. They've been literally releasing one, every single year. And, nobody's talking about it, so I don't know if people are watching it or not, but I'm like, I don't know. But like I said, too, even with Ice Age, I feel like if it were the second one and all that, then maybe second, maybe third, then maybe I could understand. But, the fact that there's already been 5 movies, I'm like, I don't know how I feel about them making another one, I don't know how I feel about that. But, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, we'll just have to see what's happening. I know this video has been kind of long, but I had a lot to kind of talk about here. But I'm going to go ahead and get back in, because my mom actually did tell me she'd call me when she got to the emergency room. So I got to keep an eye on the phone with that. So, yeah. But, yeah, hopefully she's doing okay, but I'll have to see. But for right now, though, I'm going to go ahead and let things go from here. I guess tell me what you guys think about all this. I know I've been talking a lot, but there's just been a lot to kind of cover up here and all that. But remember, guys, to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to my channel to be notified for future videos. And I promise I won't be talking about pop culture so much, because I actually do have a top 10 I'm going to be working on, or actually be more like a top 5. But I do have that getting ready to working on that. I'll be working on that here pretty soon. I don't know when I'll get it uploaded, but because there's people the roads are very busy out here. But yeah, I'm pretty busy out here, but yeah, like I said, I was doing this outside so I wouldn't wake anybody up, and trying to make videos has been kind of hard, and I feel like if I pushed them aside, I feel like, it's gonna get kind of more of a pain to do all that, so, but anywho, I'll see you guys all later. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.